If you are like me and you love indie eyeshadow palettes, you love picking them up, you know that there's always a shade and a palette that truly makes you gasp and just blows your mind. And I was thinking about that filming a recent video, and I thought, why not go through my full collection and find the palettes in my collection that had those shades in it that just truly blew my mind. So I have over 35 palettes here. We're going to go through and I'm going to show you the shades in the palette that just blew my mind. We're going to do some swatches. Like, there's no way in hell I could ever rank these because they are freaking spectacular. Like, rank like which shade I like the most. There's so many good ones, but I am so excited to dive in. If you guys love eyeshadow, I think you might really enjoy this video. It's gonna be a good time, but let's get started. If this is your first time here, hi, my name is Heather. I love all things makeup, especially colorful makeup and indie brands. And if you guys love those things too, I really hope you will subscribe. Don't forget to click the little bell so you can be notified of all my future uploads. I got a lot of really fun stuff coming up. I like doing eyeshadow palette reviews and rankings and declutters and all of the things. So if that sounds like fun to you, then subscribe. So let's get through this. My whole desk is covered in eyeshadow palettes. This is about to be a good time. I need to get some makeup wipes ready to wipe off swatches, but I'm excited to dig in. So the first stack I have in front of me is Ensley Rain. I really just started buying from them earlier this year. So I only have 4 palettes, but all 4 of them are here because the shimmers are so amazing. They are so freaking good. So let's start with the Flutter palette. I love this one so much. There are so many good like shimmers in this palette. It's so hard to choose actually. But if I had to narrow it down, I would say the one that just shocked me the most has to be Golden Hour. It's the shimmer shade right here. It's so freaking beautiful, but I love it. It's like a multi-chrome, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, definitely. Oh, and the flips, it's like a pink to gold, but its base is like that steely blue, and it's just so incredible. And like you see that bright shift. It's absolutely stunning. So I had to mention that one. This is a newer palette in my collection, and so is its sister palette, Flourish. This one's hard. I freaking love this yellow shimmer up here. It's so freaking stunning, but Fairy Flutter. She is so gorgeous. I do have videos on both of these palettes, and there's that one right beside there. Oh, it's better to like swatch them on your hand because then you can like see them really well. I'll just like swatch all the palettes from the same brand beside each other. This one is so hard. Groovy Garden is so freaking good. This palette is the first one I tried from them, and I don't think I could ever forget it. There's so many good shimmers in here, but I think it's, I don't know, I love retro, but these two on the end are so good. But if I had to choose one, let me see. Like, oh, um, well, it's hard, but I think I would go with Lava Lamp, which is that red one. It's so beautiful. And it's the bottom one, like, oh, it's so gorgeous. I'm trying to get it to show. There we go. Oh, like you could see it. It's so freaking gorgeous. And then the last one is Dreamer, but this palette is one of the best palettes I've picked up this year. So glad that I did. Dreamer is freaking gorgeous. The shimmers in here are gorgeous as well. Their like palettes are pricey. I'm not gonna lie, they really are, but They're so good that I swear it's like worth it if you can swing it. But my favorite one is this blue one down here. So good. It's called Lunar Storm. It's a holochrome, but it's a multi-chrome as well. And you guys know how much I love like blue shades. So that blue and purple is like a match made in heaven. There you go. Oh, so freaking stunning. Love them all. I do recommend them all as well. I do have a code with them. It'll be down below in my description box, but it's AOML. It is affiliated though, so if you use it, thank you. Let's go ahead and do Adept. I don't have a lot of Adept palettes. I have 3, but they're all here. You guys know Adept's shadows are so gorgeous. They're pricey too, like up there with Inslee Rain, but it's so freaking good. And their mattes are really good as well. But the first one I had to mention is the Heather Austin palette. This palette is so freaking gorgeous. I love the shimmers in here. Mine is messy because, honey, she is used. This shade just blows my mind. So does Video Chat. But I think I have to go with Smith, and you're about to see why. This shade is so freaking gorgeous. Oh, that was one swipe too. Look at that. Oh, it makes me so excited. I love eyeshadow so much. Like, I love the mattes. To me, a look is not complete without mattes, but it's the shimmers that really just blow my freaking mind. And this is a palette I need to play with more. I miss it. And when I opened it today, I just lost it. It is the Amy Loves palette. I mean, come on with the packaging. And you know, even though it's glittery, it's still not like rough in that way to where I feel like it would scratch your other palettes. At least it hasn't mine. And I've had it in my collection, but the shimmers in here are so gorgeous. I don't know how to choose. This shade in the center, lavender, is so beautiful. And then we have a holochrome. I can't pick out of these two, so I'm just going to show you guys both. Oh, like, look at that. It's like a periwinkle to a teal to a bright green. Oh, and then here we have the holochrome. And that's one swipe. But we're going to build it up because I built it up on the eye. So why would I not build it up on the hand? Oh, I need to put Heather Austin's back on there. And then lavender. Oh, lavender is the one on the bottom. And Indie is the one on the top. Like, do you see all that shift with that bottom one? And then, I don't know if it will show, but that top one has like so many like beautiful glitter reflex in it. It is so stunning. It's making me happy that a lot of these shifts are showing up. I just wiped that one off too. I have ADHD. I can't remember what I'm doing from one minute to the next, so you just got to look over me. But then lastly, the Sumerian Sunset. This one is gorgeous too. They've released a lot of pretty palettes this year, but where I do try to keep up with all of my favorite brands, it's hard because Inslee Rain is kind of expensive, and I like their shimmer to matte ratio just a little more. So I tend to gravitate towards them more. But these shimmers from this brand are outstanding. Let's see. There's so many good ones. Risa up here. Oh, this one is a freaking holochrome. I'm going to do a few. Why not? Swatch party. Oh, Risa is gorgeous. This is more like a iridescent topper. It's such a gorgeous highlight as well. Do you see that? Oh, it's so bright and vibrant. Oh, and then there's Packled. That one's pretty too. It's kind of like a cream. It feels like a putty, but it just goes on the eye so freaking perfect. And then there's like 2 more in this one I want to show you. Man, I should have showed you more in the other ones too because they had a lot that I really love. but beautiful. There's one more I'll show you. It's the holochrome in this palette, and I don't know like how well you guys can see that, but she is outstanding. I love the holochromes. You'll see that a lot in this video, but come on, show the flip. You can really see the holochrome. It's beautiful. I don't know why it's not really. It's so pretty. I'm going to be covered in glitter by the end of this, but I am not mad. But these shades, they're shimmers. They're so good. Like, you can't go wrong with an Adept palette, especially if you like the shimmers more than you do like the mattes and stuff. You will really love it. So I only have 2 from GLAMLITE, and I have a lot of palettes from GLAMLITE. I really need to refilm that ranking video, but I'll probably do it like at the first of the year because stuff's about to get crazy. I know it because of the holiday. The first one I wanted to talk about is the Ghostface Lives. Listen, I always thought I didn't like cool tones, but this year has taught me that I don't even know what I like, because I love this palette, and I did not think that I would like it as much as I do, but it's so freaking gorgeous. It's smoky, and it's this shade right here, a duochrome. It's so beautiful, and they usually don't put shades like this in their palettes, so it was very unexpected. I lost it. That shade it's like silver to green, and there's a purple shift. You can kind of see it there. It's so beautiful, but that is my favorite in that one. I'm sorry, I hate that sound. And then we have the Garfield GLAMLITE. This palette was so unexpected. I did not expect this to release, but it is so good. I love orange so freaking much. It's one of my absolute favorite colors. So when I saw this color story, I was so excited. This palette is so beautiful. The shimmers are so good. This is like the really good GLAMLITE formula. But my favorite in the palette is this shade in the center, and it is called Catitude, and it's like a duochrome. But oh, I've never seen anything like it. It's so beautiful. You know, like sometimes pictures and videos and stuff, like they're fun, but they just don't do it justice. Like it's like a mauve shade, but it has like this beautiful yellow gold flip to it. It's so gorgeous. The color story and everything is gorgeous. Now, this is one of my favorite brands. The only palette in this brand that I did not bring out, well, is the All Matte palette. And this one, because this is the first palette I tried from them, and their like formula has improved so freaking much since then. So that's why it's not like in here, but I did pull out all of my other ones, and I love them. I love them so much. I started buying Bella Beauty Bar last year around Halloween. My first palette, well, besides that one, was the Basic Witch, and I lost it. But they've came out with so many good ones, and this is a brand I would love to be able to go back and buy more from. But first, I want to talk about Dead Roses. Oh my God, I love this palette. I love like the flips, the unexpected shifts. Like it, looking at it straight ahead, it looks like a basic Valentine's Day palette. But then when you like flip it, you just lose your freaking mind. Every single shimmer in this palette is so spectacular and just truly like one of a kind. So it makes it really hard for me to choose. Let's see. This shade right here, I don't know. It either says EW or CW, but it is so freaking beautiful. I've never seen anything like it. So gorgeous and rich and deep. And they are one of my absolute favorite brands. Their color stories, theming, and everything is just so freaking spectacular. I love them. Like you could see there's like so many shifts to this. It's so freaking beautiful, like with a deep, dark, smoky eye. Maybe a late night dinner or something would be so fun. And then Bite Me is another favorite. So is As If and Drop Dead. I just love this palette. I love it so much. It was my favorite for a long time, but now it's between a few. I don't know how I'm going to do my end of the year ranking, but it's going to be fun to see. Okay, so the purple one is As If, and the other one is Bite Me. Like, how could you not just lose it and be so excited when you look at that? It makes me so freaking happy. We have so many more palettes to go, like so many. I think there's like 36 here total, but another good one. They knocked it out of the park. I love Deandra Nicole's content on Instagram. I think she's very talented and beautiful. I just love everything that she puts out. But this palette is gorgeous. It is the ultraviolet. I think it's gone. I don't know if it's coming back. But I think with this one, I'm going to just swatch the one up here. But there are so many good ones. But like I said, we still got a lot of palettes to get through. So unless it like I lose my mind over a shade, I'll wait and like only just swatch one in a palette. But that, oh, she knocked it out of the park. She is amazing. This little palette is new to me, and it was released with this palette. And let me just say, I love the shimmer palette. Love it so much. And I love the matte palette, but I only need like the two bottom rows and maybe like a few of these up here. And this is only my personal like opinion or whatever. I might try to mix these around and make a really cool like color story. But if these would have been put together and it been one palette, I would have lost my mind over it. I don't like that it's separated though, but that, like I said, it's a personal thing or whatever. But the neons, I will say, are some of the best neons I have ever worked with. So I am really happy to have it. But the shimmers in this little baby are incredible. I lost my mind. There's so many good ones. This shade right here is a holochrome, but I love this shade Molten. No, it's Dissolve. It's like I've never had anything like it in my collection. It's so reflective and icy. It's like a white, light yellow, and it's so freaking beautiful. I even used it as a highlight, and it's just so stunning. I've never seen anything like it. I love it. And then I'll do Molten and then Heat. Those are awesome as well. Like I said, Molten is the holochrome, which is the one on the bottom. Do you see how it's like a nude kind of, and then it gets like green, gold, but you can kind of see that rainbow reflect in there. So gorgeous. I'm sorry if you can hear my dogs barking. This is one of my newest obsessions from the brand. I just picked this up when they restocked it, and it's so freaking good. These shimmers are truly mind-blowing. I gasped so many freaking times. Oh my God. I love it so much. Like, okay, this shade, that shade. Like, they're all good. So I'm going to swatch and then I'll tell you what is what. That is Digital Zombie. That makes such a good highlighter. Like, do you see how wet it is? But it's so like, it looks radioactive. It's so freaking beautiful. I love it so much. Let's see. Backlash is beautiful as well. It's this shade. It's kind of a lot like that yellow that they did in that other palette I just showed you. But instead of yellow, it is green and it's so pretty. Bella Beauty Bar is one of my favorite brands of all time. Like that shade It's freaking gorgeous. This is the shade Collab. Do you see that? Wow. They are doing the most over there. And then we have Screenshot. This one is freaking spectacular as well. This whole palette just made me lose my mind. And I'm not saying that lightly, but sheesh. Now we have Viral. Viral is beautiful too. Oh, Viral is so good. It's the bottom one. See, it's like pink. It's so hard to show. It's stunning though. And then two more. We have Fake Famous and Depleted. I am out of room. Okay, this is Depleted. And you just wait. Is that Depleted? Yeah. It's so freaking good. Fiery. It's like an apple red that shifts to like a fiery orange. It's so stunning. And it's got a little bit of like a green in there as well. Okay, and then we have Fake Famous. And this is me swatching every shade in this freaking palette. But it deserves it. That's the bottom one. I can't really show it. I didn't swatch it in a good place. But you get the point. Like, look at those shimmers. Is that not the prettiest hand you've ever seen in your life? And that's every shade in the palette. Like I said, it's just so good. It's so good. I just can't stop with them. They are one of my favorite brands of all time. I could not recommend anything from them more. And I would love to pick up more from them as well. I really want to get the Strange and Unusual. And if it's still in stock when I get paid, I do plan on picking that one up because I've wanted that one for a long time as well. And they did put the new formulas in it. So I'm really excited. And now the one that started it all, the Basic Witch. I love so many shades in this palette, but there are, I don't know, it's hard to choose. I can't swatch everything. Okay, I'm going to do Resting Witch Face. I mean, not only is it such a good name, but it's also such a beautiful shade. And then I'm going to do the shade in here called Cauldron. It's that one. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to flip you off, but it is gorgeous as well. And then Hocus Pocus. We got to do Hocus Pocus. Like, ooh. It's so freaking beautiful. So the top shade is Resting Witch Face. The middle one, the blue one, is Cauldron. And then that bottom one is called Hocus Pocus. Like these, like I said, they're the ones that started it all and made me just fall in love with this brand. But the last one is one of my absolute favorites in my collection. Might help if I put it the right way, but it is the Secret Garden. Honey, she is large and in charge, but she is packed full of so many freaking good things. Like, honestly, I could swatch this whole palette, but I can't do that. I'm yelling at myself like, girl, you need to stop. But okay, I'm going to swatch some of my favorites. Like, I've already hit pan on that shade. It's so freaking beautiful. I just love this palette so much. Even the neutrals. Like, I love all eyeshadow, to be honest. And there's times, like, when I'm in a hurry and I don't have time to get ready, I love using neutrals then. And there's other moments that I think they're fun, but when I look at a palette, I see the color. That's the first thing that pops into my mind. But even these neutral shimmers at the top are insane. This one right here is a holochrome, and it is beautiful. I think this one is too, actually. But my favorite shades in this palette is one that's at the bottom. And this is one of my favorite shades in my whole entire collection. It is called Secrecy. It's a holochrome, but it's also like blue to purple. And it's so beautiful. Like up close, you can definitely see those glitters. Like, come on. Oh, it's so good. And then at the bottom, there's also a shade called Imagine and Honey. This palette is so fun. You see that blue? Oh, it's so freaking good. Okay, I think I'm going to leave it at that. But if you do want to see it all swatched out, like most of these palettes, I do have videos on. If you guys are interested in seeing like all of the swatches, but just one more for the road. Oh, this brand is like incredible. Then I have a stack of like random like single palettes, only one from each brand. The first one is from Fantasy Cosmetica. And the reason there's only one for this is because I only have two. But this palette, like, oh my God, I fell so in love with this color story. But this shade right here, you're not even ready. It's so good. It's called like Graviturgy or something. I feel like a moron every time I try to say it because I have no idea how to say that. But she is gorgeous. This palette makes me want to go back and buy like everything on their site. I love it. The color story is so freaking good and captivating. I just have had so much fun with it. I hope they have a Halloween release. I mean, they kind of have to though, right? Because it's Fantasy Cosmetica. So I'm excited to try more from them. But I think everything about this palette is beautiful. Then I want to talk about the Oceano palette. This one is new. There's a couple like really beautiful shades in here. Like the ones over on the end, these two bottom shades. But the one that just made me lose my freaking mind is this shade. It is called, I don't know, because I cannot say it. But it is so freaking gorgeous. It kind of matches my nails, which is a whole vibe. But this shade is so freaking stunning. It's like an orange, but it's like so bright. And it's like orange, pink, and gold. It's just so freaking beautiful. I love a flip. I love a shimmer that flips. I mean, I like metallics too, but I'm really, really like living my best life with these special shades. This one, the Crow, this is another brand I only have one palette from, but these mattes in this palette are some of the best mattes I think I've ever worked with. Like you could use this black and probably only use that black and get a whole smoky eye out of this. This palette is incredible. I lost my mind, but Vengeance, she is special. I've never seen Vengeance look so beautiful in my life. This shade is so spectacular. It's a holochrome. It's like a black and blue almost, but let me try to get it to, oh, it's so pretty. Like, do you see those rainbow sparkles? It's so freaking stunning. So I absolutely had to mention this one. There's a lot more other beautiful shimmers in here, but it's like 9 o'clock at night and I still haven't even cooked dinner yet, which is why me and Amanda are fluffy girls, because I always cook at like 10 o'clock at night, which I know is so terrible, but you girls gotta work. Next, the Blooming Basket. I wanted that bundle that they did with Makeup on Your Radar so bad, but I can't afford to pick it up right now because I've bought like so many releases. Plus, we did back to school with Amanda's niece and nephew. So, like, we are, you know, we're trying to be smart with our money. So, I did not pick it up. There was a lot of other stuff that launched too, and that kind of made me not pick it up, but it's so beautiful. I know the bundle sold out, but I love the shimmer formula in here. It's so beautiful. I love every single shade in here, but my favorite is this one for sure. It's like a soft baby pink with this most beautiful yellow flip. It's just so stunning. Oh, I just think it's so fun. I love that color story in that palette. And I think the color story really like, you know, shook me up and made me so excited. Next though is the Perfect Peach from Gourmand Girls. You guys have heard me go on and on and on about my favorite shade, and it's Fuzzball. So good. I love Papa Don't Peach as well. So we're going to do both of them. But Fuzzball is so unique. I've never seen anything like it. It has like this really gorgeous peach glitter reflect in it. It's like a deep emerald green, but it's got like lime green glitters in it along with peach glitters in it, and it's so pretty. And I don't know if I'll be able to get it to pick up. Like you could see how like gorgeously metallic it is, but I can't get the peach. Like you can kind of see them a little if you look closely, but you can see them on the eye. You've seen it there. It's just, it's so beautiful. I love it so much. And then Papa Don't Peach. This one I think is a holochrome. I love everything about this palette. I love the looks that I did. And I love the shade names, the color stories. I think not the color stories, the color story. I just think that this color combo that they did here is so fun and gorgeous, and I had so much fun with it. It's truly a beautiful palette. The swatches don't do it justice. Then I want to talk about the New Zealand Stargazing palette by NOMAD. This shade down here, there's a lot of gorgeous shimmers in here. I actually really love them all, and I do have a video with this one as well. But this shade down here is so unique. It is a gorgeous multi-chrome, but it has a gray base. I've never seen anything like it, and it shifts from like gold to pink, and it's so freaking beautiful. It goes so well with this palette. It's just so pretty, and I love it. It just looks so freaking gorgeous. They did such a good job. And that shade is really the like standout shade to me in this palette, but I will say that all of the shimmers are gorgeous. I had so much fun with this one, and I do have some really cool looks up with it as well. I do have a playlist on my channel. If you go to my like community page or whatever, you can see like my playlist. I have one that says like all the palettes I tried in 2024, and you will find most of these palettes, like all the videos I did, down in that playlist. If you guys do want to, you know, binge watch some videos, some older ones as well. We still have 15 palettes left to go. I'm going to go take a quick break, and I will be right back. For you, it'll be just a second. Okay, so I'm back, and we're going to finish this up. The next brand is BLENDBUNNY Cosmetics. I love the Longing palette. I think this is my favorite palette from them. This color story is so freaking beautiful. And these are the best shimmers that they have done so far, in my opinion. But I am waiting on the new palette to get here. But this shade right here, When It Rains, this shade too, Love Letters, is so beautiful. But When It Rains is definitely my favorite. I had a blast with this palette. It's so freaking beautiful. And I'm excited to see them like improving their formula, still working to be the best. And I think this is so gorgeous. You can see like the little flip right there. But these shimmers are so smooth and beautiful and so fun. And then we have the MACHINA palette, our MACHINA palette. This one is highly discounted on their site. But my favorite shade in this palette is the shade Cyborg down here. It's so beautiful. But I love the undertones in this palette. This is such a fun one. And this one is so beautiful. It's like fluorescent as well. I do have a similar shade like this in that Cleona Oceano palette. But this one makes such a good highlighter too. Like, do you see how wet looking it is? It's kind of like the one in the recently de-influenced, but they are different at the same time. But I think this one is beautiful. Now this next one is the size of a coffee table, but this is one of the most beautiful coffee tables I've ever seen. The color story, like the undertones of the shades that they picked, these, I just, I can't find the words. They are so beautiful. I really love these center iridescent topper shades. If you want to see them all swatched, you can check out my video. But the thing that I really want to talk about is this silver. This is one of the best silvers I've ever seen. Like, come on. It is so glossy, so rich and beautiful. I actually have silver on my eye today from that new Gourmet Girl palette, but this silver is so freaking stunning. I just love it so much. And like I said, this palette is a giant rainbow palette, yes, but the undertones in the shades are so unique that it's more of like a special rainbow palette. It's not just your everyday basic rainbow, and I think they did a great job on this collab. So next, I want to talk about Cosmic Brushes. I love all of my palettes from them, especially like all the ones that are this size, but this is a newer one to my collection. It is the Neutrals. I had a blast filming the looks I did with this one. This palette is freaking extraordinary, but there are two shades that I want to show you. The first one, Desire, and then the shade up here. Like, it looks like nothing in the pan, but honey, when you swatch that out, it is nobody's business. There is the shade Desire, and it's really, really pretty. A lot of these shades I've noticed have some sort of like a green flip, which I never really noticed that before until like doing this. But now let's do Radiant, and that's a perfect name for this one because it is definitely radiant. Another gorgeous highlight, and there's that green flip, but you can kind of see the pink there as well. It's in like fiery orange. This is such a gorgeous shade. Really gorgeous in the inner corner with the like creating looks with this, and then using that like as an inner corner shade. She is beautiful. I love all the shimmers in here too, by the way. This is one of my favorite brands as well. And then we have Cool Trolls. This one was so freaking fun. And I do have a video with this one too. I have a bunch of favorites in here, but my biggest favorite, well, first of all, the silver in this one is freaking spectacular too. But she also did a holochrome. And one thing you will learn about me if you haven't yet is I am a sucker for a holochrome, and this one is extraordinary. Like, there's that green shift again. I don't know if you guys can really see the holochrominess. You can see the glitter all over my hands, but this one's beautiful. You'll just have to take my word for it. I know, like, in a lot of my swatching stuff in my, like, review videos, I do try to, like, show it in different lighting so you guys can see the different flips. Like, look at my hands. They are covered. This one. Oh, I love blue eyeshadow with every fiber of my being, and this palette was freaking made for me. I have two favorites. Well, I have more than two favorites. I almost have pan in that shade. It's so good. But Winter Solstice and Atmosphere are the two that just make me want to scream. They're so freaking good. The Winter Solstice is very unique to my collection. And then Atmosphere, oh, it's just like so silky and smooth. Those are like my favorite kinds of shimmers, like that silky, smooth formula. Oh, there it is. That top shade, it's like light blue to green to pink to yellow. It's just so beautiful, and you can like see it on my finger even better. This shade, it's just extraordinary. Now we're gonna do some Odin's Eye. I thought I almost knocked my palettes off. You will be seeing me have a heart attack on camera because I would lose my mind. But I do have four of my like favorite color stories and or it has one of my favorite shades in my whole collection. And the first one I want to talk about is the Earthwood. This is the collab that was done with Fancy Face. The color story is pretty, but the thing that really just drew me in, it's this shade. It's so freaking pretty. I've never seen anything like it. Like, you can kind of see there, it's got like pink, gold, bright green. You could see the green there. And you could kind of see the pink, like peach down here at the end. It's so freaking gorgeous. Oh, this shade is so good. It's like worth the whole palette, honestly. She did a great job picking shimmers out for that one. Then I want to talk about the Christmas Eve palette. I love these freaking Christmas palettes. They are so good. The silver in this one's good as well. But I had a blast with this palette. It's another one I can't wait to drag back out for like the season this year. But the shade that I'm crazy about is the shade Gorgeous. This is also a very unique shade in my collection. Like, do you see that? Oh, it's got like that steely blue to green to pink. It's so spectacular. It's so beautiful. Like, you can see the steely blue and then the pinky purple, and then it's also got that yellow. It's got a hint of like this mustard yellow shade. Those two are a freaking match made in heaven. My videos on that one aren't very good. It's when I first started my channel and I was doing like voiceovers and stuff. So if you don't like that video, I do understand. But next, I have to talk about this palette. What is it called? The Mighty Monster. This one was with Annette. And I love every shimmer in here, especially these bottom two. But the one I want to swatch is the Midgard Gleam, I think is how it's pronounced. It's so beautiful. This is one of my favorite shades in my collection as well. You know what? Why not? We're going to swatch the one right beside it because I've actually knocked these last 15 palettes out pretty quick. But these are so freaking gorgeous. I think these ones are still available and they are fun. I really do like them. So the last one is the Merry Christmas palette. And this palette is so beautiful, but my favorite shade in the palette is this green shade up here. But I love this whole palette. It's so beautiful. They did such a good job on these. I didn't pick up the ones that were released this year. I just don't feel like they were as fun. But maybe I was wrong. I also didn't pick up the like those stone or rock like palettes they came out with, and I do regret that. But I love that shade. It's so freaking beautiful. Okay, so I kind of saved some of the best for last. These are my top 5 favorite Unearthly palettes, and I'm about to show you why. Let me just say I love Unearthly Cosmetics. If you guys like aren't familiar with my channel, they are like one of my absolute favorite brands. I love their theming, their formulas, so many of their different formulas for tons of different products. I highly recommend them. I do have a code with them too, and it is AOML as well. I love all of the palettes that I have from Unearthly, and I have like close to 25 probably. They're one of my favorites, and they're my favorites for a reason. And I also really adore the owner, Amanda. I think she's really kind and really fun and creative. So this is one of my favorite brands. So I wanted to save them for last. So this palette is one of my newest palettes. It is the Night Terror palette, and I have to swatch probably all 3. The shimmers in here are so good. Well, not necessarily that one. It is like so good, but I don't need to swatch that one. It's like a iridescent blue topper. It's really beautiful, but the 2 that I'm like in love with the most are these 2 right here. So first we're going to do Night Terror. I do have a video up on this as well. And then at the bottom is going to be Haunted. And they have that same like silky smooth formula as well. That Night Terror shade up top is the center shade in the palette, and It is so freaking beautiful. I just love it. But that purple one is gorgeous as well. I'm waiting for the Gargoyle palette and the collection to get to me. I did get the palette in PR, but I bought the rest of the collection, and I'm super excited for that one. So next is the All I Ever Wanted palette. This is a palette jam-packed full of special shades, and honestly, I love them all like so much, and it's so hard to choose, but I have swatched everything to death. So the two that I think I'm going to pick are going to be these two, the yellow and then the shade Angel over here. I really love Twinkle as well, but Unusual is one of my favorite shades in my whole collection. I like the original Unusual a little more, but this one is like smoother and less flaky than the original. But that like really bright pink orange shift is not as strong in this one, but this formula is better, if that makes sense. So then Angel is a hollow chrome, and it's like a light cool tone blue, and it is beautiful. And you know what? I gotta do Twinkle too. I can't help myself. It's so pretty. So here we go with these. See, like the original Unusual is different. Hold on, I have that one too. These palettes are what made me fall so in love with Unearthly, but the So Strange is the one that had Unusual in it. And I love both of these shades. I have a huge pan in Unusual, but as you can see, it's like way more flaky. But I'm going to have to put it down here on the bottom. But it's way more impactful. You can really like see the pink to gold shift in that one. Like you can see it on my finger even better, probably, hopefully. I don't know. It's just, it's so freaking good. I lost my mind when I bought these palettes. I fell in love with Unearthly, and I've never looked back since. I also liked this shade. And what one was this? The Weirdos palette. It's the shade Feather. I Bind You was beautiful too. So is Glamour up here. It's like a blackened, like pink to red. It's so pretty. But the bottom one there is that one shade. It's so pretty. If they ever bring those three palettes back out, I really hope that they do. I highly recommend them. I just lost my mind. But that was like really my first time getting to try like special shades. So I just fell in love. Now I can't stop. As you can tell by how gigantic this collection is, but I love this palette. It is like 80 bucks before like you use a code and stuff, but if you like can swing it, I know $80 is a lot for some people. It's a lot for me, to be honest, but it's so good, like so good. You can see the reasons once you swatch it, like why it costs so much, because those special shades, they are really expensive to make. So, I mean, if you can swing it, I do really recommend it. Then I want to talk about Devour. This is one of my favorite freaking palettes from them. This shade Trapped right here is so freaking good. So are Snack and Bite. But Track is unique. I mean Trap, not Track. But this one is unique because it has like a lime green base with a pink to yellow like shift. And it's so beautiful. And it's probably not going to pick up on camera. And that's going to make me so mad. It's so beautiful. Like, let me put it on my finger and see if we can get it to show up. You can kind of see it better, like right there. You see, like, it's kind of like a almost seafoam green, but not quite. It's so freaking beautiful. I love this color story. It's such a good time. I so recommend this one. This was one of their like best sellers this year, I think. It was the Dreamer palette. And you know I'm going to go for this holochrome right here called Dream State. It's such a gorgeous shade. Like, oh, it's so icy. But the holochrome shiftiness in here is so gorgeous. I love it. Let me see if I can get it to show. Right there, you could see it. Yes. Oh, it's so beautiful, is it not? I could paint myself in all these shades. I mean, I probably don't have enough eyeshadow for all that, but I could try. Then, last but not least, the Don't Be Jelly. I bought this over the summer, and it did release last summer, and I had FOMO for a minute, but I love this so much. I love the seafoam with the purples, the seafoam with the blues, the purples with the blues, and this like really deep, dark, like rich purple shade. It's so gorgeous. The shimmers in here are out of this world. So smooth. The shade up here called Hydrospace. It's so beautiful. Like there it is on the finger. It's so pretty. And there it is on the hand. It's so like, I look like I got like claws. And then Brine is gorgeous as well. These shimmers are just so freaking shiny. Like, I don't know how well it like picks up on camera, but they're so shiny. There's Brine. This one is beautiful. I think this might be like a duo or just a metallic, but it is so reflective and gorgeous. It's just a metallic. It's just beautiful though. I just love this one so much. So this video was really fun. I love swatching all this stuff. I will take any excuse I can to pull out palettes. And honestly, I've been having a lot of fun with these videos. Like I ranked my favorite cool tone palettes in my collection. And then I also did like 25 palettes that just captivated me, blew my mind. That one was fun as well. And now I've done this one. So I've just had fun. Like I've done certain colors. If you guys have any ideas for any other ways to create these types of videos, like color stories or anything like that, please leave them down below because I love these. They're so fun. And it looks like you guys love them as well. But I will take any excuse to re-look at my palette, to feel re-inspired, and to play with the shimmers and all of that. It's just such a good time. But I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. It really does help me out. And let me know down below what palettes in your collection have that special shade that just blow your freaking mind. Even if it's just like your top 3 or your top 5. Also, if you made it all the way to the end, then leave 3 of your favorite emojis down below. I'm so excited to hear your guys' thoughts on this video and hear about some of your favorites. Maybe I'm missing out on some stuff. I know I am. There's so many palettes that I've seen so many of you guys talk about, and like they're all similar palettes. So, but hopefully at some point I will be able to pick some of them up, like the Cold Moon. I've heard so many of you guys talk about that one. But thank you guys so much for watching this video all the way till the end. And until next time, bye.